How did it feel to get under Chris Eubank Jr.'s skin this time?
It's taken a while, hasn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like he's won a few presses against me, but I feel pretty good about that one. It's just a bit of fun, you know, all part of the build-up. Obviously, he's not going to let me speak, so I'm thinking, what else can I do? Other than, let's create the scene of Love Actually, Silent Night, and let's put the cards up there. So the response has been fantastic. All great for the build-up. Listen, having Nigel and Chris up there was fantastic. I mean, for the show. So just can't wait for Saturday.
They look like they were going to have a trilogy next as well, right?
I swear to you, I've never seen anyone more ready to go than Nigel Benn up there. I was actually thinking it is about to go off, and thankfully he kind of remembered. He's 61, remembered God, and just thought, nah, smiled, and they shook hands, and yeah, it was a great moment.
From your perspective, obviously, Conor and his team have made it very clear that they want to drop down. They don't want a trilogy fight. If Conor wins, it's 1-1. And Turki Al-Sheikh obviously holds pretty much all the cards. If he wants to see that fight and offers huge money, you're obviously interested in.
It's been a great experience, these two fights. It's made Conor Benn generational money that is going to, you know, secure him and his kids' lives forever. But the dreams and aspirations are to win a world title. That's what his father did. Nigel's belt is up in Conor Benn's gym in his garage, and he looks at it every day and he dreams of becoming a world champion. So I do think moving down to 147 will be hard work, but I think it's more than possible. That will come in early 2026. We'll start looking at that. Saturday's just about victory, but you will see Conor Benn challenging for a world title, I believe, after this fight. But you have to remember that my dad and Chris Eubank were inseparable. My dad once told me I would take a bullet for that man when I was a kid. My dad was best man at Chris Eubank Sr.'s wedding, right? Chris Eubank Sr. came into my dad's office with nothing, with holes in his trousers. And they went on an unbelievable journey together that was steeped with great achievement, with loyalty and everything. And when I went into boxing, Eubank wanted to talk to Matchroom about his son. And my dad said, you need to speak to Eddie, I don't do the boxing anymore. He said, no, Barry, I deal with you. And my dad said, no, you don't, you deal with Eddie, he runs the boxing. And he couldn't bring himself to do it. And we've never really got on. And I don't particularly like him, if I'm honest. And I dislike him even more when I've heard all his comments this week. Because one thing happened in my life with Chris Eubank Sr. that I will never ever forget. And I never said he received money to come. We know that's the rumour. We know Turki Al-Sheikh found a way to get him to come. Make your own conclusions. But one thing I know, because I had the conversation myself, was for my dad's 60th birthday, I called a surprise party. And I wanted to invite a small group of people that were so important in his life, that meant so much to him. And I made the call to Chris Eubank. This was 17 years ago. And the first thing he asked me was, is there an appearance fee? And I will never, ever forget that. And when I said, no, it's a birthday party for the guy that changed your life forever, I'd really appreciate if you come. He said, well, will you pay for my driver? And I said, yeah, I'll pay for the driver. And I had to come out and pay the driver. And I will never, ever forget that. And my dad won't say a bad word about him. I had a conversation with him tonight. I said, have you heard what Eubank's been saying? He said, I can't believe it. I can't believe what he's saying. But Eubank's Eubank, son. And I ain't, it's obvious, I'm not their cup of tea either. Good.
Eddie, you explained when things switched up for you between you and Chris Eubank Sr. When did your opinion change of Chris Eubank Jr., or have you always disliked him?
I'm baffled by his... I don't mind the guy. I think the guy has a lot of upside. I think he's quite funny. I think he's quite intelligent. I think he's a ballsy fighter. But he has this thing in his head that we're the system. Like you heard him up there. These guys are controlling the game. No, we're just a promoter within the sport. But he's got this bee in his bonnet about me. Like, you know, and I don't really know what to say. I find the guy, you know, even socially I've struggled around him. I don't mind him, but he's got this, I know a lot of people that he's friends with who I really get on with really well, but him particularly takes shots at me. I don't care if you don't like me. You don't lie and make up or you will face the consequences. He will let the consequences drag on because he's not man enough to say, I was wrong. So we'll see where that goes. But listen, I don't mind the guy. I respect him. What he did in May or April, I could only dream of going to those kind of depths in the trenches like Conor. These people need respect. But for some reason, he's got it in his head that we're fighting against him. I couldn't get about him. Good luck to him. Wish him all the best.
And just touching on the Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua talks as well, that's reignited this week. In terms of percentages, how realistic is that?
50-50. I mean, we're told that Jake Paul wants to fight Anthony Joshua. If he wants to fight Anthony Joshua, there's a very good chance that could happen. We're just as likely to wake up tomorrow morning and he's announced another opponent and they were using AJ's name as clout. I can't believe Jake Paul would be crazy enough to fight Anthony Joshua. But if he is, it's very likely we will oblige.